Thank you.
Every coffee needs a lotus.
And welcome back to our morning session with none other than Sir Paul and Larsen. I believe all of you were impacted and were changed. We were taught not only to reframe our minds, but at the same time we learned that we can take control of what we can, and when we do that, things will change. So for now, speaking of change, you can help make a change. Support our frontliners. This is our way of helping during COVID 19. And this project started very early in April and it will be running until the last day of May. So for 2 solid months, we have been giving to you. Thanks to people like Sir Paul and Larsen, who are generous enough to share their expertise, their time, and sacrifice their private time and time for soul searching so that they can reach out to us. Not only that, these are supposedly paid seminars. But then we decided to forego that and give our service for free. And we thank you, Sir Paul, for doing that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
If there's only one thing that they would learn from all your teachings, it will be enough. It is life changing. And so we would like to give you the same opportunity to change someone else's life, the poorest of the poor, via the Bayanihan Act or the Coming Together of Heroes 2020. Let's come together. Let's do whatever we can so that no matter how little the amount you'd be giving or how big or generous the amount will be, 100% of the proceeds will go to the Bayanihan Act 2020 to help our kababayan, especially in Bayan ng Mahayhay. We are living and breathing, and to be alive today is already a blessing. So reach out and help those people who are in distress. Together, let's show our support to our fellow Filipinos who are in a survival mode during this difficult time of the global health crisis. You can act now. And so let's click and donate. That's http://www.ariva.com.ph/donation. And we thank you for your generosity. Thank you for being a hero. And with that, thank you so much. Now, Sir Larsen, we mentioned about the participants from all parts of the world. I'll be mentioning our participants from all parts of the Philippines, if it will be okay with you. So let's start off with greeting our birthday celebrants, Noel Baday and Ivan Anabo. Happy birthday! Happy birthday!
Yeah.
Yes, and I'll do this alphabetically. So I'll call that not anymore the towns and the cities, but the provinces. So they are from Albay, Baguio City, Batangas City, Cagayan de Oro City, Cavite, Davao City, La Union,
Oh,
Laguna, Naga City, Ormoc City, Leyte, Pangasinan, Puerto Princesa City, Quezon Province, Rizal Province, Tarlac, Tuguegarao City, Valencia Negros Oriental, and Zamboanga City. Thank you for letting us into your living rooms or your study, or maybe you're in your bedroom and watching us up in your bed. Thank you so much for letting us in. And for the Q&A, we'd like to ask you, for especially the Zoom participants, to type in your question at the Q&A box, not at the chat box. Though I'm sure you can see, Sir Paul, that in the chat box we have been flooded with gratitude and message of thanks.
yeah,
Rest
that's
to you.
wonderful.
Now for the Q&A, so we have three kinds of questions to entertain. Those that are typed in the Q&A box. Number two, those who will be pressing, and I would like you to press the raise button so Sir Paul can see your beautiful face and hear your wonderful voice, and that Sir Paul, will answer your question virtually, face to face. And number three, for our Facebook Live viewers, we're monitoring all your questions. Type them on the comment box. It will be forwarded to me by the technical team, and we'll do our best for the next, how many minutes do we have, Sir Paul, to entertain as much questions as...
Absolutely, yeah. As I want to make sure everyone's questions are answered. So that's wonderful.
So, Sir Paul, before we read the first question, I'd like to affirm your worth and thank you. This is from the bottom of my heart. We know that in this world, I've seen imposters. I mean, self-proclaimed, self-absorbed hashtag or quote-unquote influencers. And then Sir Ron Thomas mentioned that they are self-anointed. And you know what? Today, it is mesmerizing to see someone who is like you, authentic, humble, almost too humble to a fault. And then that's why you were able to connect with all of us. And we thank you for that. We thank you for your authenticity. And thank you. The most favorite part of your presentation for me was to not die, have the courage to not die a copy. And I'm telling you this, you are an original. You definitely are. And thank you for being that. And I hope every one of us will be influenced to do this. Self-love and self-accept. And have the courage not to die a copy. So Oliver Portus from the Q&A box. Fun question here. If you were a movie, which would you be?
Oh my.
Or can you recommend any that would be as inspiring as you? There are no copies of you. You are the original. Okay, fun question.
Oh, that's a great question, Oliver. Oh, a movie. What movie would I be? Well, certainly, I don't know if you guys have been, if anyone watches, there's so many that are out there, right? And when I think of the movie, there's certainly many that I know that I wouldn't be. And that, there's a recent documentary that we've had in the States called Tiger King, and it's a crazy, crazy life that these people have led, and it's like nothing about it. There was a recent movie a couple years ago with Olivia Colman as the favorite, where she played Queen Anne in England, and you look at the way she led, and you look at how, like, there's certainly things I would never want to do, right? But I love the question, because what it begs is we should be our own movie. We should create our own script. And Oliver, thank you for asking this, because you said a fun question, but it's even a little more than that, because we live on with other people's scripts. We should create our own script. That's what reframing's about. When I work with folks, including myself, it's about rewrite your script. Rewrite all the stuff up here. rewrite what you think you need to be in front of people, or what kind of leader or manager or whatever it might be. Rewrite that. So it's hard for me to always think about sort of like, what would my movie be, or even the song or whatever, because I would want to co-create that with my mind up here in terms of my own movie. But I love the question. I absolutely love that.
Thank you, Sir Paul. So what will be the title of your movie? Aside from Paul, anything?
Yeah, A Life Well Lived.
A Life Well Lived.
Yeah.
And if it's a song, if it's a song, what's the title? If it's a song.
Oh my gosh. If it was a song, A Life Well Lived, the musical.
The musical. You know what? We see you and we see someone who is perhaps a theater performer, an actor, a person who was born to be on stage. And that's what
Well, and it's interesting how you mentioned that is I'm an introvert. I'm a huge introvert. So the different styles, introvert and extrovert. I'm all about being by myself, and where that can sometimes get up here a lot. And so I love people, but when I need to recharge myself, I need to sort of go into myself. And I have to be very careful of the thoughts and the songs and all those things up here, because I'm okay to be by myself quite a bit. But yeah, so I'm an introvert. I do like, though, sharing my message and just facilitating and just coaching and all that, because I think it was what I was born to do.
Thank you, Sir. Thank you for that, Sir Paul. You know what? Like what I mentioned a while back, I'd like to clarify that all our speakers, global speakers, were carefully chosen by Ariva Academy so that they, like you, are authentic and humble and not self-absorbed and selfless at the same. They are selfless, and we thank people like you. But particularly, everybody, I've seen a couple of, if not 5 comments admiring your bow tie. And that's part of your self-expression, and we love that. Thank you, Sir Paul.
Yeah, and this bow tie actually comes from a wonderful place in Bangkok. As part of being in different communities, and I saw this person making it, and I just said it was an absolute thing of beauty that I was like amazed by, and I just wanted to honor that person by what she was doing by buying it. And wow. it was just amazing. It was amazing. So it was very special to me, and I always wear this for very special events.
Thank you for wearing that. Thank you so much, sir. We feel special right now. So Ronald Santos from Q&A. Thank you, Sir Paul. It's really our mindset or paradigm that we need to change. But how do we reboot our mind in order to face the new normal? What are the initial steps that will help us reboot our mind and be able to lead with confidence?
Yeah. So it really is just, if you really, it's a great question, Ronald. And I also, I just want to notice the question above, Ada's question.
I don't think you can also read that, sir.
Yeah. So let me hit Ronald's, and I'll go right quickly up to Ada's as well. But really, when you think about shifting your mind, sometimes we think about, oh my gosh, where do I even start? It's like, how do I build a house? Well, how are houses built, right? They're built, little bit at a time. They're built frame by frame. They set the foundation, then they're not built overnight, and they're not built, they have master plans. That's what you want to have. And the way I do this for myself and with my clients is, I don't say like, where do you want to be in 10 years? Because we can't even factor in where we're going to be next month, right? I mean, with everything going on, look at all that. But by the end of something, by the end of June, by the end of July, what do you want your life to feel like? Not necessarily be, not necessarily act, feel like. Because remember, thoughts create feelings. We can't go from thoughts to action. Actions won't stick. So what I do is to Ronald's question is, it's about rebooting, just like you reboot a computer. And when you reboot a computer, you get rid of all the cache goes away, all the bad data, all the bad memory. It just reboots it. That's what you have to do. Let go of the past of what you need to let go of, right? And then just really think about, take one step and say, by the end of July 31st, 2020, I want to feel like these 3 things. I want to feel more confident. I want to feel maybe a little bit more adaptable, and maybe a little bit more happy, depending where you're at, right? And then back up from that and say, what do I need to do today to feel that way? And begin to actually feel that way. Don't wait. I have to wait until this happens for me to be happy. Why? We control these thoughts. So it's a way of really just making sure you are in a growth mindset, feeling those thoughts now to go forward. So that's really sort of the kind of in facing the new normal and in facing kind of this new landscape we're in, right? Ada's question, which was, how do you manage employees who are not giving up on their fixed mindset? You can't control other people. You can't control behavior. You can't control what they do or don't do. All you can do is try to not manage them, actually. Because if you manage them, you are going to drive yourself absolutely nuts. I've learned that. You have to sort of enroll them along. Again, reframe. We love to say manage because manage is a good word. It's a solid word. And we're managers and we're leaders. But when we try to manage somebody, it's like we're trying to control them. Well, you're not really controlling them. Now, yes, they have to sometimes do what you say because they report to you, but you can't manage this. And this is where the fixed mindset is. What you can try to do is help them along through that change curve, helping them to explore other opportunities. But you know what? If they won't budge, if they won't move, they won't. And there's not much you can do about that. And this is where organizations have to learn to sort of let go of trying to manage that with people. But there are ways in which you can just sort of very slightly, in a very small step way, have you thought about this potential possibility? Have you thought about what this would be? What's not working for you right now? People that live in fixed mindsets, they know what's not working for them. They're stuck up here. So when I ask that of people, what's not working for you right now? Oh, I get a list. So I take one of those two things and say, what if we tried to explore a possibility around this and make this less painful for you? Or make this, look at the potential of that. Immediately, you've got that little light that came on. Now, you're not going to change them 180, but what you've done is you've just taken small steps around that. But in organizations, we want change all the time real fast, but it doesn't work that way. So that was a great question from Ada. So thank you both, Ronald and Ada, for that.
Thank you, Sir Paul, for bringing in the perspective of a coach, not someone who is focused on results, not someone who have the thirst to control people. Because you know what, we know that when we control people, we bring results. However, we lose connection with them, and we lose their trust, and then eventually we just lose them as human beings.
Yeah.
And as
you're absolutely right, Hal. You're absolutely right. You're not even connecting as human beings. And what you're doing is you're forcing everything.
You're forcing everything.
If you think of somebody in your life that's made impact for you, a family member, a friend, a manager, a leader, somebody in your life that has been just has had such significant positive impact in your life, more than likely they have inspired something in you. They've inspired a thought. Yeah. They've inspired a new way of thinking. They've inspired you somehow. And they've done that without force, and they've done that without ego, and they've done that without command. But other leaders don't know that. And we won't get into the political part, but you don't have to look very far anywhere in the world to see leaders that lead by command, control, force, versus leaders that lead by inspiration and inspire people. And it's a choice. Not everyone's going to be inspirational. Some people do want to lead by command and force, but I just say life's too short to not be known that way. You want to inspire.
I agree. Thank you so much, Sir Paul.
Sure.
Now, from an anonymous attendee, I'm sure you can read it as well. Can we say that resiliency is a skill?
Yeah, I'm one of these people. How you're so funny because you talk about thought leaders and all those people who are experts. I would say yes, resilience can be a skill, and it can also be a behavior. We can be resilient. It's also a skill. And when I say it's a skill and behavior, I also say it's a mindset. It blends really nice together with the brain and the heart and the gut. Resiliency is a mindset. I'm going to be resilient. and I'm going to look for ways in which I can be resilient or I can be adaptable. Doesn't mean I change overnight. It doesn't mean that I'm going to let my kids run and do all these crazy things. I'm just resilient. No, what are areas that we can actually be resilient and maybe not react a certain way?
Thank you, Sir Paul.
Sure.
Now we have an FP Live question from Eve Francisco Ramos. With the COVID-19 pandemic, how can I manage my fear mindset of going back to work sooner, as the place where I work has higher numbers or a high number of COVID positive patients?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a very, that's an incredibly, that's incredibly emotional question. It's an incredibly emotional scenario. It comes down to what it goes back to. Remember the condition tendencies we talked about the earlier part. You want to feel safe. You want to feel secure. What do you need to do in that type of environment in which to feel safe and secure? And thinking about, and again, I'm not in this situation, but I'm trying to empathize with the question, because it's heartfelt. Just because they're bringing in the COVID positive patients doesn't mean you will get COVID. And just because you will get, even if you got COVID, doesn't mean you would. So already you might be jumping in so many leaps. Start small. I'm in a fixed mindset. I realize that. So her question was beautiful because she recognized she was in a fixed mindset. That's the very first thing. Then thinking about, okay, the job I have requires me to work XYZ. You start kind of listing out like, okay, and it requires me to work in this environment. And these folks are needing, they need employment or they need care or whatever the type of work is. I have a choice. We always have a choice. We sometimes feel like we don't have choices, but we always have a choice if I want to. And then how do I do that safely? What you want to just do is try to finesse and potentially empathize with the folks that even might be in that environment, be in that condition right now.
Yes.
And the fact that what can you do to help support that? And what can you do to at least take care of yourself as well? But it's not just, I'm fixed. I don't want to work in that. I'm gonna, if I do that, I'm going to have all these bad things happen. Reframe that. Because the news is full of all that, but there's also been so many areas and situations where people have been helping and supportive, and they themselves have remained healthy. They themselves have remained very safe and secure. We immediately just jump right to that. And I understand that, but that's a wonderful question. And it's just taking little baby steps up here.
Thank you, Sir Paul. Now, from the pre-sent questions, Daniza Dayan Molina, how can we maintain composure in this trying and challenging times, especially given the increased demand for online services, but with limited workforce?
Yes, I'm sorry. Can you repeat that again?
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the last question, sir, from Daniza Dayan Molina. How can we maintain composure in these trying times and challenging times?
Yeah. How do we maintain composure? That's a choice. It's a choice to remain composure. You don't have to. So thinking about why, first of all, think about why do you want to have composure? Why do you want to remain at peace or calm? So some people, they don't live in that environment. Some people, it's the opposite. So for me, I'm thinking, how do I want to show up for myself? How do I want to show up for others? And I list that out. I list it out as grounded. I want to appear grounded, even though you might have seen me moving around a little bit. I want to be grounded. I want to be centered, and for the most part, I want to be calm. And those are the three things for me, and that equals composure for me. Then what do I do? Then what behaviors do I need, and what mindset do I need in which to do that? I would tell you this. This was Diane. I would tell you that. Oh wow! I even as recent as 2-3 years ago, I used to be quick to trigger, quick to react, quick to quick to judge, and all these things. And I was the opposite of sort of what I coach now and the way I am now, because I've worked on myself in terms of I want to feel calm, I want to feel peace, and I want to feel centered. And in order to do that, this is what I need to do. And there's so many ways to do that. Some people meditate. I don't necessarily meditate. Some people just ground themselves in just sort of some wonderful ways of thinking about themselves or mantras. Some people read kind of, books, and so lots of ways in which to do that. But establish sort of a practice. And again, 5 minutes. Take the little exercise I showed you. Take that. Start with that. The find your voice, the values, all that. Just take 5 minutes and say, I want to be a leader of composure. So what do I value? What are my outcomes? How do I influence myself? List out things. Just nothing's right or wrong. It's just what you do. What courage do I need? And what's my brand or expression? Try that. That right there might just be enough. We just want to start to pivot, and then you gain more and more and more, and you begin momentum. We're not talking large leaps, because those don't stick. That's the old gym in January, and we won't be there in February.
Thank you, Sir Paul. And can you entertain just one last question? This is
Absolutely.
A Zoom Live. Christine Senioron. Hello, Ma'am Christine.
Hello.
Hi, Christine.
She's our best in attendance and best in recitation student.
Hello, Sir Howell. Hello, Paul.
Nice. Na-miss ka namin, Ma'am Christine.
Yes, Paul.
Wonderful.
Good evening. Good evening at your side, Paul. So
thank
I
you.
have a question.
Sure.
Yes, I have this question. It just popped up in my mind. So you have been talking about don't die as a copy, rather be an original. So here's a scenario. Okay, the original and a copy. So in a workplace, so there are these teammates, right? So you have this ability, you have the knowledge, the skills, the ability, and then you have this idea, but then you're too timid to open up for the idea. So you're the original one who has the idea, but then you don't know how to explain it, how to express your ideas the way you wanted it. So nobody understands you. So here comes another teammate who is better, into vocalizations or into expressing your ideas, and then comes with a boss, and then it happens that the boss is mesmerized with your teammate, and then
Mesmerized. I love it.
it becomes the opposite now. You instead of your being the original, you become the copy instead, and then the copy becomes the original. So as an HR, how can you identify the credit grabber, or how can you reframe that word? How can you identify each of them in your workplace? Okay.
Yeah, that's a beautiful question, Christine. Thank you so much. And gosh, I'm really surprised that happens in a workplace. I've never heard of that happening before. I used to have. Oh yeah, it happens all the time, right? I used to have that happen a lot to me, because as a team member, as I mentioned, I was an introvert, and I didn't learn how to necessarily even speak like I am now. So I would have an idea, and then somebody else would come up with something similar, or I would tell somebody the idea, and then it became their idea. And I'm kind of sitting there like, now, wait a minute, that was my idea. But as an introvert, I was somebody who was not always raising my hands. I was more quiet in the room, and, all different types of styles. But also what you're talking about there is the environment that the organization has created. So you can't always control the behavior of the other people, the other teammates. They're going to take ideas or not, right? And they're going to make them their own, and they're going to do that. We can't control that unless we don't tell them the ideas. There's certainly information.
Precisely.
That may not be what we want to do or not. Who knows, right? That can get in, but you're talking about the environment that creates that. And what I would just suggest is the organization should have a way, and it could be a very small way, of allowing people who are quieter, allowing people whose voice are quieter, not always the loudest in the room, not always the one that stands up and says, look at me, look at me, look at me, in order to generate those ideas. And so right there, the environment, culture could change from the organization standpoint. HR, when I was in HR, I used to notice I used to notice that certain people would always get like high marks and always be, and then these other folks were like what I would consider kind of diamonds, but they were hidden. They were like diamonds in the rough, but they would not speak up. And so when I was in HR, I made sure that I reached out to them. Now, that was something I could do in HR. But what the individual might want to do is look for ways in which they can communicate to other people about their ideas. Because if they're continuing to communicate to the team members, and the team members can continue to take the ideas, that's going to happen. I mean, that, so it's not about, it's about for the team member to look for an alternative way to communicate, and for the organization to say, you know what, we need to get a way that we can like talk to folks that maybe one-on-one or smaller groups or other ways. So we get these ideas from the original source, not the copied source. Sometimes organizations don't care. They don't care where the idea comes from, so to them, it doesn't matter. But for the individual who authored it, it does matter. And so that's the key there is it's not the science, life is art and science. Science is easier because it follows steps, follows checklists, but art is the relationships. Art's the trust and respect. Art is all the stuff you're talking about. And it's that art of leadership, that messy thing we saw. And sometimes things work and sometimes they don't. And when you mention all this, I go back to my history, and I can remember times where it's like, lots of people had wonderful ideas, and they might have started with me. So it's kind of like small steps around that.
Oh,
Thank you, Sir Paul.
Thank you.
Thank you, Christine. Thank you.
Thank you, Ma'am Christine, for always making sure that we see you and we hear you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Howell.
Good up, ma'am. Now, Sir Paul, we thank you for your generosity, thank you for your authentic passion and to help and coach for free. And we thank you for the time. So, sir, the last minute of our interview or our webinar is the takeaway. I have a lot of takeaways, but if there's one particular thing you'd like us to remember from here and then henceforth, what will that be, sir?
Yeah, thank you, Hal. It's we are here for such a short time. We are here to make an impression on the world in such a short time. Never, ever, ever, ever underestimate the impact that you can have on others, how you can help, how you can serve others. But more importantly, never underestimate the impact you can have on yourself. It starts with you. You can't go out and help others until you've actually helped yourself to the level of confidence or the level of resiliency or just the level of peace that you need in yourself. So start with yourself and then serve others, because there's nothing more honorable, there's nothing more humble, there's nothing more generous, and there's nothing more gracious than helping others and also sometimes just helping them for the sake of helping them. We're not looking for anything in return. It's all about paying it forward as an original, not a copy. So
thank you so much, Sir Paul. Everybody put your hands together for Sir Paul.
Thank you.
We can't wait to see you in person here in the Philippines on stage and see see you and feel your presence and inspire all the more the people who would be listening to you. Thank you so much, Sir Paul.
Thank you, Howard. Thank you so much, everybody. It would be an honor. Thank you.
And have a great dinner, Sir Paul. And then see you soon. Thank you so much.
Okay, bye-bye. Bye-bye, everybody.
Maraming salamat po. Maraming salamat.
Salamat. And please stay in contact. Email me, whatever you want to do. I'm here for everybody.
And we have to follow your fan page. You have a fan page.
Yes. Please follow my pages and just connect with me. I'd love to stay connected and hopefully get to see you again in person or in some other session.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Thank you. You're a beautiful human being, a beautiful soul. Thank you so much, sir.
We all are. We all are. Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Okay. Bye-bye.
And bye-bye, sir. Maraming salamat. And so as Sir Paul fades out of the screen, let's all invite back Miss Irish Malonda Samson, our dear president.
I'm back.
How
Sir
are you,
Howell.
Madam Irish?
I'm good, of course. Well,
It's almost 2 hours, no? Time flew so fast.
Yes, well, just would like to thank Mr. Paul Larsen. Thank you that was really an awe-inspiring presentation. Thank you for lifting our hearts, our minds. Thank you for the realizations. And we're looking forward to see you here in Manila. Thank you so much, everyone. A big hand for Mr. Paul Larsen. Thank you so much, sir. Okay. Sir, before we move on, I would like to share a comment from our Zoom participants from Belen Nicasio. Thanks so much, Ariva and all the coaches, especially Coach Paul, for making this quarantine time very productive and gives us hope and mind tools to be able to positively activate what we have, what we know, and what we think, and eventually adopt to the big restart. With that, Belen Nicasio, thank you so much for your kind words. Sir Howell, of course, your takeaway.
So I mentioned a while back that I loved all the memes, the pictures, the sense of humor,
the energy,
the quotes, and everything about him is admirable. We loved him for doing this. However, the very thing that stood out was his authenticity. I saw a person who is grounded, who is calm, who is centered, like what he mentioned. He is aligned and he is egoless. And that's the beauty of service. If you can serve selflessly, and that's the best kind of service you will do for the humankind. So thank you so much, Sir Paul.
I agree with you, sir. Well, with me, what struck me most is, of course, don't die a copy. You're trying to live by other scripts, usually, always, but let's write and let's live our own scripts. Okay?
I agree.
So with that, thank you so much, Mr. Paul Larsen.
And can I ask you a question, Ms. Irish?
Sure, sir.
If your life was a song, what would the title be?
Oh my God.
Think about it. Okay.
Top of the world.
Top of the world. I love it. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Howell Mabalot. I'll be seeing you on Monday.
On Monday. Wow.
Yes, have a great weekend.
You too. You and your beautiful family. Thank you so much. Don't go away, everyone.
Bye-bye. And guys, it's not yet the end of our e-learning session. We would like to acknowledge, of course, our win-win partners who help us make this e-learning possible. Thank you to our official media partner, Art Plus Magazine, digital media partners, Focus Media, Globaltronics, CD Advertising Ventures, Outcome, Elevate Media. Thank you as well to Brother, Faber-Castell, Gluta-C, Moringa O2, KFC, Mr. Donut, Tokyo, Lotus Biscoff, Boss Job, CERT Technology Inc., Finma Properties, Salary Jet, Ilawi Korea, Kitosan and Carpo Consulting, Enchanted Kingdom, Disperse, Cosmetech Philippines Inc., MindChomp's virtual preschool program. To register, please call them at 0906-486-0710 or email them at disacanabe@mindchomps.org. And if you want to place your ads here, advertise your company, your logo, your services, have a brand exposure to thousands of viewers, please email us at marketing@ariva.com.ph. Don't forget to like us on Facebook. It's Ariva Academy Philippines Inc. You will be able to see our upcoming online e-learning programs, and also you'll be able to watch our live stream of our free e-learning sessions. So don't forget to like us on Facebook. And if you want to watch the replay of our e-learning sessions, today's e-learning sessions, please do subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's Ariva Academy and Ariva Talks. Again, it's Ariva Academy and Ariva Talks. Please do subscribe. Okay, for our upcoming online learning sessions, please register at and visit our website. It's www.ariva.com.ph. We would like to invite you on the HR Virtual Summit PH. Our session with Mr. Paul Larsen is one of a series of our HR Virtual Summit. So please do join us. And we have invited international and local subject matter experts to share with us their wisdoms, thoughts, insights in the HR field. So please do join us and register. This will be on Monday, reinventing yourself in time of quarantine. Learn, improve, and pivot. Monday, May 18, 3 to 4:30 p.m. And we have invited Coach Suzette Chapno to discuss this session. Post-COVID-19, Survive, Thrive, and Scale. This will be on Tuesday, May 19, 3 to 4:30 p.m. and will be discussed by none other than Mr. Vishnu Anna Paredi, a global keynote speaker from Malaysia. Guidepost for the Now of Work. This will be on Wednesday, next week, May 20 in the morning, 10:30 to 11:30 in the morning. Of course, this will be discussed by Mr. Jason Averbook from United States. Going beyond coaching, turn to counseling team members in a COVID-19 situation. Wednesday next week, May 20, 3 to 4:30 p.m. And will be discussed by Professor Ricky De Vera. Another live webinar series for a cause. We have invited the happy doctor, Dr. Suresh Devnani from Singapore, and he will be discussing breakthrough in times of crisis, how to maintain a positive state of mind during the COVID-19 pandemic. This will be Thursday, May 21, next week, 3 to 4:30 p.m. Another live webinar series for a cause, streamlined employee engagement in the time of crisis. This will be next week, May 22, and will be discussed by Ms. Mila Pascual Nodosu from Thailand. And if you want to customize an e-learning session exclusive for your team, you want to invite our global keynote speakers, our Ariva Partner Speakers Bureau, please do email me at irish.arivaacademy@gmail.com, or you can reach me at 0916-695-4418. And that's it, guys. Thank you for joining us this morning. Please do register on Monday, reinventing yourself in time of quarantine. Learn, improve, and pivot. Again, this is Irish Malonda Samson in Ariva. It's all about being better, be safe, and stay home. Have a great lunch, guys. Bye-bye.